trusted the things I own. More tatimba, nyangwene mari, oh no. Things come and go, nothing I have will get me through. But I trust in you, for you are faithful and you're true. My candida, disina chinu, my candida. Who pen you when you nasindu yimba? Did you invite me? I'm gonna trust in you. Don't be my me, I trust in you. Don't be my me, I trust in you. Don't be my name, isn't don't be my name. Don't be my me, I trust in you. Welcome to another edition of Features by TaffyRue, where we get to put the spotlight on upcoming young, talented artists who are bubbling under. Best believe when I say that Zimbabwe has talent, that is, we have a lot of talent. And it is a privilege for me to be in a position where I get to come into contact with the amazing talent that this country has to offer. Today on the show, I have with me Vincent Chitsike. I first met Vincent Chitsike like a long time ago, about 2 years ago, and he was already busy doing what he loves, busy using his gifts and his talents, be it playing for well-known artists or playing at church conferences. He was putting his gifts to good use. And one thing that I admired about this young man is that he was very committed. He is very committed to his craft. Even if it means traveling from one city to another to do his thing, he's on it and he is gonna come through and he's gonna be passionate about what he's doing. So it is an absolute pleasure for me to be talking to Vincent today. Vinny, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, how are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us here on Features with TaffyRue. I guess maybe people want to know, I know you, but I'm sure a lot of people out there would want to know, who is Vincent Chitsike?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm Vincent Chitsike, 24-year-old boy. Mm-hmm. I come from a Christian background, practicing musician. Yeah.
Okay.
That's me.
Is your family a musical family? Is it just you who play or sing, or are there other people in your family that do music?
Yeah, it is a musical family. My uncles are pastors. Some of them are pianists, drummers, musicians. My mother's vazhinji vacho vanoimba.
Okay.
Some of them record. So yeah. It's a musical family.
Okay, all right. So, it being a musical family, was it an issue, Guti? It's a family thing, and people just do music, or did you at some point fall in love with music? Why are you doing music? Was it a must for you to do music?
Yeah, I think both.
Okay, explain.
I think both, because growing up seeing my uncles playing music, my mother's singing, I was inspired by it.
Okay.
So then growing up, you're building your own structure or life, I can say. So uchiona vachiita zvinhu, you fall in love with music. So then when you're doing your thing, you fall in love with music more.
Okay.
So I think that's it.
All right. Interesting. So through Bring It On, obviously, I've seen you sing and play. So I know that you play keys, you play the guitar, and you also sing. What is your favorite thing out of all the musical instruments that you play? Which one is your favorite instrument?
Yeah, I can say my favorite is the guitar.
Okay, why?
Yeah, it's my favorite. I connect to it more
Okay.
than all the other instruments. I cannot say kuti, out of all the instruments, it is my favorite, but I know it is.
Okay.
I feel it is.
So you first started playing guitar, or did you first start by playing other instruments?
I started playing keys.
Okay.
Then kuchechi kwakusina madrama.
Okay.
So zvaizo kuti kuchechi kwatenga drums, then no one is playing, you have to learn. So I cannot say I was self-taught, but ndakangotanga kungoridza.
Okay.
Then at home I was playing the guitar as well, practicing my personal time for practice.
And where did you learn how to sing?
I started singing at a young age.
How young?
Chimba choir.
Uh-huh.
I think I was 10.
Okay.
I was 10 when I started singing.
So how is it combining, because indakamboedza kuridza guitar for a bit.
Yeah.
And the reason why I started playing the guitar was because I didn't have anyone to play for me.
Okay.
So I had to learn, because I was like, you know, the videos won't be all that great if I'm just singing a cappella. So I had to learn to play the instrument. And I was like, okay, even if I'm invited to perform somewhere, I'll probably use my guitar. But I wasn't all that good in playing, you know, singing and playing. How do you find the singing and the playing? Does it come naturally? Is it easy? Do you have to work extra hard when you are singing and playing an instrument?
Yeah, I actually take time to practice, like trying to combine the two.
Okay.
Blending me playing the instrument and singing at the same time. So I can say it's practice.
It takes a bit more practice than just playing an
Just
instrument by
playing
itself.
separately, and yeah.
Ah, interesting. So how many years would you say you have been doing music?
Yeah, I can say it's been 3 years now.
Okay, 3 years.
3 years. As
Like
in
professionally, or like
professionally.
just from the time you started doing the music, how long do you think you've,
Okay.
yeah, like started from the time you started playing, or from the time you started
Yeah,
singing?
that's 3 years.
3 years.
It's from the time I started playing and singing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you studying music? Are you planning on studying music? What does your musical journey look like?
Yeah, I can say I'm studying music. I will have to continue school next year, 2025. From ndenda kuita diploma.
Why is it important to study music?
It is important. We need the papers. Because I want to go into teaching.
Okay.
Young kids. Yeah, that's passion.
Okay.
Saka.
So let's say you didn't need the papers. Let's say you didn't need the papers to teach. Would you go to school for music?
Come again.
If you didn't need the papers, like you didn't need certificate, kuita music, do you think you would go to school for music, or you would just teach yourself and improve in that way?
I think I would go.
Why?
Because I can say I've learned a lot from being at ZCM, Zimbabwe College of Music. As a musician, sometimes you get wrong information from maybe social media platforms, or that information. Let's take for an example, playing the guitar. A person comes, anogona sakupa basics, akutokupa ma riffs, ma runs, ma chords, yet you don't even know what is this code. This is different from this. This is different from everything. So there you know where music came from. You get the roots of music. You connect to it more.
Okay.
And you also learn everything. It's like a full package.
Yeah.
So I would actually go for the School of Music.
Okay, so you would encourage other musicians to actually invest
Yes.
in going to school for music,
Yeah.
so that you are able to learn the basics or the fundamentals of music, kuti yakabva kupi, and why, like even maybe the construction of a chord and why you
Yes.
have, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, and what dream do you have when it comes to music?
Yeah, when it comes to music, my dream is to have a music school for young people.
Okay.
Let's say 5 years to 13. Yeah, where they're nurtured. Like, I think that's the most important thing kuvana, kuti at a tender age, tinovabata. Kana watoona kuti uyu ari gifted in music, ari gifted kwaari gifted ikoko, ototanga kutodzidziswa, kwete kuti I start knowing kuti this is a guitar ndaane 18 years.
Okay, so you're passionate about teaching young people music. Why is music important for young people? Like, what are the benefits of music? Why should, even parents encourage, if they see that someone has the gift of being able to play a guitar or to sing, why, what would you say to that parent to encourage them to send their children to go for lessons, for music lessons?
Okay, I think because gifts are meant to be nurtured, indeed. Saka, inina, bringing myself in the picture. I started playing from being inspired. Ndichiona ma-uncles angu achiridza vanhu vachiita zvinhu chichi. Then it made me want to practice kuti ndidzidze ndizive. Saka time yandiri kupractice music, it's replacing time yandofanira kunge ndichiita zvimwe zvinhu zviri bad, growing up, doing experiments, or doing whatever, let's say drugs, chichi. So, yeah, I think it's very important to let them venture into what they are gifted from.
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting take here. You're saying if someone has the gift of music and they then invest time into doing their music, they then are staying away from things that could be potentially harmful to them, like drugs and so forth. That's very interesting. So you're talking about practice. How many hours do you practice in a day?
I can say 1 hour.
1 hour every day?
Every day.
Okay.
Trying to be consistent. I do not have a timetable, because maybe if I have a timetable, something comes up, I miss time for my personal practice. Then maybe ndadzoka ndakaneta, or so whatever time, I just have to make sure kuti I have an hour
every day,
whether I'm practicing keys, doing them voice exercises, or playing guitar, or whatever.
Okay. How important is practice?
Practice is important because wazopa stage yauridze zvinhu zvausiri kuziva. So from practice, your fingers, your hands, whatever you use, they just zvinongobuda.
So it's like finger memory, I guess.
Yeah.
Through the constant practice that you do.
Zvinofana kungobuda kwete I'm thinking, for an example, if I go on stage ndiri kunoimba a song yandisingazive, trying to play and sing at the same time, it's hard than kuti I've been practicing, then I memorized chichi. Yeah.
So do you ever get stage fright when you go on stage?
Every time.
But how? You practice.
every time. And this young which is no so it say, but nainoroba.
Okay, it's like how do you calm yourself?
I breathe. I try to
Okay.
breathe and maybe try to talk before I perform.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I've seen you on stage at Bring It On, singing and playing both guitar and keys, right? What was your experience like at Bring It On, and what lessons did you get from that journey?
Okay. I remember I started going to Bring It On 2023. Now we're in 2024. So 2023, I think end of last year.
It was August.
August.
It's usually in August,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I've learned that being a musician, it's not all about the voice, the good voice, having skills on how to play an instrument. It's about your connection with God also. It's about knowing what you're doing personally. Like if we say kuti urukunzi yimba song, how are you singing the song? Is this the song structured? I've learned that from Bring It On.
Okay.
How do you structure a song? How do you sing? Nekuti inina I actually have this thing. I'm so obsessed with high notes.
Okay.
Yeah. So pese panangoimba I end up sometimes it's not necessary. So you need someone to tell you.
Okay.
No, dude. Chilla. Yimba, we want to hear what you're singing. No, it actually should not disturb mood your moon or out track kuimba. But then you're now more focused on the voice than what you're singing, the message itself.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, and in terms of, so obviously you've been doing music for quite some time. What lessons have you learned from music
From music.
that you can apply to your everyday life?
Okay. I've learned kuti from music, right?
Yes, from music.
For an example, music, it requires you to be patient. When you're playing an instrument, you have to be patient. You don't just go on a guitar and you know a chord miraculously. No, you first read it, you have the notes one by one, then you combine them. So that takes patience itself. So I think that's the most valuable lesson I've learned.
Patience.
And I'm actually trying to apply it to my everyday life. And it's working.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, definitely. I think patience is a very valuable lesson that you learn from music. That is, you can apply it to every single area in your life, because obviously tinema temptations we think if we plant a seed today in whatever it is that we're doing, mangwana to bear fruit. But it's not like that. In every area of life, you need that patience to wait for this thing to develop and grow as you continually work on it. So patience is definitely a good lesson. Okay, so you mentioned earlier on, right, in terms of how music kind of took you away from things like drugs, right? How serious in your community is the issue of drugs, or what issues are people of your generation facing these days?
Yeah, as in how serious is drugs affecting?
Like, how serious is the issue of drugs? Because, I mean, for a long time now, people have been saying, kuna issue my drugs, kuna issue my drugs. But maybe there are people who don't know how serious it is. Is it serious at all, or are we just making noise for nothing when it comes to the issue of drugs?
Yeah, it is very serious. Not mostly you'll find out kuti from peer pressure munhu ari kulinka nevanhu vari already into drugs, maybe people who are older than him, then ouya kune isusu a particular age group achiita zvemadrugs, we think kuti zviri right. Like for an example, where I live, Chitungwisa, yeah, drug abuse zviriko, vanhu vari kuabuse madrugs. Vamwe vanhu vasingafungiri, a person goes to church on Sunday, wears a suit, they look nice, they don't even look like they do drugs, but they're doing drugs.
So how can musicians, or how does music help? So for you, obviously, in terms of practice and time that you are taking to practice is helping you to stay away from those things. How else can we help solve this issue of drugs in the community?
Yeah, I think the same way people encourage people to do drugs through music, I think it's the same way we should encourage people not to do drugs by singing things that makes them want to stay away from drugs. Nekuti pamwe pacho unotoona munhu ari kutoimba song yekuti ndakadhakwa chichi, then inini I should sing ndisina kudhakwa. It's an example.
Yeah.
Ndisina kudhakwa, I am able to do this, I'm able to achieve this, I'm okay, I can be myself without any influence of drugs.
What other pressures are young people like yourself facing these days?
These days? Okay, there are those things we don't talk about. So kuti people out there sleeping around. It actually hurts kuti unoona a Form 1 student, like for let's say you're having a conversation with a young boy or girl. Nyaya dzacho unonatsoona kuti panapa yeah, vanhu zvinonzi vari kukura very fast, but handizvo. Nekuti some other things we shouldn't even know. But nowadays, because of technology, you can get anything anytime, anywhere. So yeah, I can say people are doing things which are not of their age, and also kushaya mari vanoba. Nekuti pamwe pacho unogona kunzwa kuti mbavha, then you go kuona kuti maybe you expect kuona an old person. Wona, he's my age, or he's actually younger.
So what part do musicians, do artists, film industry, the arts, what part do we have to play in helping our society to be a better place? So you mentioned earlier that probably singing music that is helpful, encouraging people to do the right thing. What other things can we do as people in the arts to ensure that our community is made better, that we stay away from these things, or encourage people to stay away from these things? What can we do as artists?
Okay, as artists, I think as artists we can have those events whereby we don't. Vanhu vanofunga kuti, all right, for an example, mostly uchitaura name a person of my age. Wamubvunza kuti how was the event? Anoti no, tainwa, quite kids are dancing to music, hosting those parties asingatoite. We were smoking, chichi. So it asked as artists or as gospel artists, or pane vamwe vanoimba social commentary, but encourage people their day-to-day living. I think that we have to have events asine anything chiri influential, or preaching the word of God, doing those good things. So even if we get 3 people from a crowd, it's something. yeah, you have saved souls.
Yeah, you've impacted one person, two people, three people. That's still a lot.
Yeah, so it might seem boring doing the thing, a thing all over and all over again, but we don't know. Tinenge chitofisha abantu
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of gospel music, or not in terms of gospel music as such, you mentioned that you want to record your own music at some point. What kind of music do you want to do?
Yeah, gospel music.
Okay, and who are your inspirations?
My inspirations, Janet Manyoa,
Okay.
Pastor Chirai, and TaffyRue.
You're making me blush.
Yeah, and also, yeah, Jonathan McReynolds. Yeah.
That's the kind of music that you would want to do?
So listening to their music, I think that's the way I want to go.
Okay.
Or how they do music.
What they do.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. So now we're coming to the end of our interview, and maybe you have some words that you want to encourage people who are walking down the same road as you, people want to do music, or even just young people in general. You can just look straight into the camera, and you can just, this one, so you can just give them words of encouragement, and yeah, speak to them.
Okay. It's like I'm now speaking to myself.
Yes, you're speaking.
Right. I think as an artist, you should just be yourself. Of course, you aspire to be someone, what they're doing, but as much as we want to be other people, let's invest more in ourselves and do good and practice. Practice.
Practice makes perfect.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vinny, for coming through, and thank you for playing. That rendition was beautiful. That rendition of Nemi.
Thank you.
So there you have it. We were just speaking to Vincent Chitsike, an upcoming artist who is definitely going to be doing big things. You can best believe that you're going to see something special coming from this young man, and we definitely hope for the best for your future.
Thank you.
Yeah.